Hey, welcome to Bears Banner. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Tonight on the broadcast, we got Keith Floyd, Guy Moore, and Jay Beasley. Hey, want to send out a quick prayer to Dr. Quick. He's going through a little something, so pray you get better, my brother.
Blessings,
Bears pull off a 12-10 win. Hey, I'm just like I feel in the Panthers game. A win is a win.
Yeah, but it was like going to the dentist and getting your teeth pulled with no anesthesia.
It's like pulling teeth. It's like pulling teeth. It's like pulling teeth. And I said with the Panthers game, my predicted score was 14-13, and they won 16-13. Today, I actually thought the Bears was going to actually score a few more points just because of the way the Vikings defense plays. But man, Getsy. I know players play the game, and quarterbacks run the plays that's sent to them. But at the same time, man, Getsy called a bad game tonight. He really did.
Mm-hmm. Getsy doesn't gets it.
No, he doesn't.
Well, I tell you what, Jay, it's like pulling teeth with no anesthetic, but your smile end up looking better. So it's a little bit, a win is a win. I'm gonna take the W. And I was saying, before you got on, it's amazing about how bad the Bears are and how little confidence they have. They still don't realize we have a chance to win, to end up being over 500 this year. And think about that. We're 4-8. We got 5 games left. We can still win 5 games and be 9-8 and potentially be on a playoff hunt. But realistically, we're looking at this team, and it's not even the players. I think the decisions that are being made by the coaching staff are horrible, horrid, aberrant, what have you. I can't believe that.
Whatever adjectives you can use.
Pick your hyperbole.
I mean, think about it. Flus ended up challenging a clear reception in the fourth quarter to lose the timeouts. I know he got something against timeouts, man. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, I told y'all. I was like, that's the only way Flus gonna call a timeout. He gonna call a bad challenge.
hey, I don't know. Maybe stockpiling those timeouts to the end of the season. You cash them in or something. I don't know. But you know what? Looking at the Bears, I want to kind of go over the last 6 games real quickly of what the Bears offense did. The Vegas game, Bears scored 30. Chargers game, 13. New Orleans game, 17. Carolina, 16. Detroit, 26. And the Vikings, 12. So over this 6-game stretch, the Bears averaged 19 points a game. That's really why their record is where it is, because the league average is 20 this year. So you scoring right below the league average. But you know what? I saw one of the Facebook users said, guess he should be fired tomorrow. I mean, that definitely should have been a fireable offense. That drive where the first fumble occurred, even the announcers were saying, hey, it's Flu's telling him to get conservative to make sure they stay in field goal range. Oh my God! As soon as he said it, they got a pass play that resulted in a fumble.
The Bears was averaging 20.9 points coming into this game, and the Vikings was giving up the same thing, 20.9 points a game. And for you to have 4 turnovers and you don't capitalize, that's coaching, man. I just want to stress that's coaching. How do you have 4 turnovers and you don't score a single touchdown? Time of possession. Minnesota had 24 yards midway in the second quarter, not the first. They had 24 yards. You got 4 turnovers in the game, and you don't score a touchdown. That's bad play calling. People can call it what they want to. They want to blame Justin. They want to say the line ain't doing this. The running back ain't doing this. But guess what? 4 turnovers and not 1 touchdown. That's bad. That's bad.
I'm flabbergasted. I just saw one of the fans talking about defense.
Coaches don't fumble. Oh my God.
Because missed fumbles. Guys, let's get serious. In an NFL game, holding a team to 10 points gets you an A every time. 4 turnovers, held the other team to 10 points, given we were playing against a journeyman quarterback who's on his 17, who is probably 2 and 10 for his entire career. So we had the odds in our favor, man. So it's pretty pathetic. Y'all got to stop being such defensive haters.
Mm-hmm.
We
you
won
got
the
to
game.
think they held them 10 points.
And they actually had them to 12 points the last game. Outside of Bajan's fumble, a scoop and score. Yeah. So they held them to 12 points. Yeah, I mean, the Bears defense is playing well, but I'm still saying, and I don't know who that Facebook user is. Coaches don't fumble. No, they don't. But guess what? Getsy puts players in position to fumble because the bottom line is this play calling is atrocious. Absolutely.
You know what? I got to co-sign with Plank about that. Anytime you hold a team that averages 23 points a game to 10 points, I don't care what your record is. It's certain stuff. Now, if we'd scored 30 points or 35 points or something like that, we couldn't even trip on offense. But you scored 12 points, 4 field goals. It would have been 5 if he hadn't missed one. But still, that's terrible.
Watching this game, I mean, it was hard to watch. But one thing I noticed early in this game, and I kind of saw it in some of the other games, where you really didn't went to these real short passing games to almost kind of, to me, like kind of padding stats to have like 60, 70% completion. But after a while, as the game go on, it doesn't really mean nothing. It's meaningless if you got, and it's not a indictment of any particular person. I'm just saying a play calling. You're just running in the first half, efficient offense, just to have we're 16 out of 17 in passing, right? But it doesn't matter if you can't score in the red zone or you can't convert. So what you end up having is the same thing you kind of had last week at the Wild, where it's like, can you get a touchdown? I mean, can you please get a touchdown? I mean, please.
Right, because Justin was 5 for 5. When they first saw this stat, he was 5 for 5 for 25 yards. So I'm like, okay, that's 5 yards. That's 5 yards a pass. That ain't nothing to be proud about. That's nothing to be proud of. That you 5 for 5 for 25 yards. Yeah. It's just showing that you're getting 5 yards per pass play. Yeah.
As a DB, if you telling me that I got DJ Moore to guard and you gonna run 12 screen passes to him, I'm loving that. I'm gonna take that all day. So all I gotta do is wait to try to tackle him, which ain't the easiest thing, by the way. After he catch it, I live with that all day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of the Facebook, YouTube users made a comment that it's bad clock management. I agree, because once they got to around 4 minutes, I think 4 minutes in the game when they hit that possession right before that fumble, I was sending y'all messages like there is no reason to pass any more in the rest of this game. And you might as well just run until you force them to use their timeout early, and you should have been in field goal range. Because guess what? This team stopped punting because they didn't even believe you could get a first down to even get in field goal range. They did it twice. They didn't even believe you could get a first down. That's basically what they were saying. Not that they didn't think your defense could stop them, because your defense been stopping them all night. But they just didn't believe if they didn't get it that you would actually get a first down.
But I'm gonna tell y'all something. The Bears defense, since Eberflus took over this defense, over the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 weeks, this defense has really been playing some good defense. They really have. Jalen Johnson tonight, I don't know what he on, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. Jalen Johnson played a hell of a game tonight. You know, he dropped another pick six, but he did get one interception. But Jalen Johnson played a hell of a game tonight. And this defense, actually, they tackling was crisp. It was a few people that missed some tackles in between time, but this defense is actually playing really well. And the Bears got 4 wins. 3 of them came in prime time. Go figure.
Go figure, right?
Jay, I agree on the defense, and y'all know I've been pumping up TJ Ellis the last few weeks, and it's still people out there who are not recognizing how well he playing. They're stuck on 3 tackles he missed 7 games ago, right? And they still talking about those 3 tackles that he missed. Talk about the game that you see the last. He's always around the ball. That's why he ended up with the interception today, because he's always around the ball.
Yep.
It's his second interception of the year. He got a forced fumble. I believe he got a sack tonight. I know he already had a couple of sacks already. I mean, he leads the lead in tackling. Get a man his props. Jalen played well tonight. I thought that the D-back who played in place of the rookie, he played well tonight too.
Terrell Smith,
yeah.
Played well.
Somebody sent I think it was Guy sent a comment. He was like, man, the DBs was on point tonight. They played fast. They played, and y'all know I'm always one of the people that be like, I watch other teams and everybody looks so much faster than us.
Yep.
Our DBs look like that tonight, and I was happy about that. The win, 12-10. I'm not really happy about it. We got to win. Yes, we did, Keith. We got to win, but at the same time, this should have been like a 30-point blowout. It should have been like a 30-point blowout. I'll take the W though. I
want to make sure nobody gets away scot-free. We watching, we paying attention. This week's Stealing Money Award goes to Eddie Jackson. Oh my God. We had some good years from him. Then he went through a bad streak. Then last year he came back and everybody gave him credit. Eddie Jackson is not an NFL safety anymore, not a starter.
Well, I would like to say,
Go ahead, guy. What you got?
No, I was just gonna say, if y'all want to start talking about talented Jacksons, y'all better not never say nothing else about Tito again. Ever.
You know, I know some of these ended up being scrambles and stuff like that, but I'm not liking the Florida offense the last few weeks, to be honest. When you have two running backs and they only get 16 carries in a close game, that's a problem. That's a problem. Your quarterback, like I said, I know some of them were scramblers. Your quarterback has 12 carries, and your 2 running back total together 16 carries. They basically, between the 2 of them, they average 3.5 and 4 points. You gotta ground the ball out more with your running backs. You actually throw off the groove of the pass blocking. And to me, they became so predictable. They was going to pass on first, run on second, throw on third.
And
one of the most unbelievable things that happened tonight is showing how they have negative. They can't capitalize on a positive thing by the defense. You get an interception. You get a 15-yard run back. You lose that because, helmet come off, whatever, I mean, I understand what happened. Then after that, you get a false start after that. So you end up going back 25 yards.
25
from the end
yards.
of the run back of that play.
Yep.
And you were really like 5 yards from field goal position, I believe, at that point, where you ended up having to punt the ball because you lost so many yards from penalties. It don't make sense.
Yeah, one thing I can say though, Justin was able to keep his poise, and I was really happy to see him come down and get in position to score a game winning drive. And, you know, they flashed the stat. They was like, Justin Fields has 2 game-winning drives in his career. And I'm trying to think back, like, damn, I don't even remember. We've lost so many games. I'm like, when did that actually happen?
Those were Nagy. That was a Nagy.
Those were Nagy years. So I was actually glad to see him be able to come back and get in a position for them to kick the field goal. But at the same time, again, you know, I still can say I'm not impressed. I'm just not. We got to win, but I'm not impressed.
I'm gonna have to say it. Somehow, in the fourth quarter,
you say it all the time.
I keep saying
you say it all the time.
Justin Field is gonna have a negative play. He had 2 tonight. Now I'm gonna say this.
Yes, he did.
Back to back.
Yep, back to back.
Back to back.
He showed me something tonight, though. He actually put together a game-winning drive after those 2 turnovers. That's big. Even though you don't want the turnovers, you don't want the meltdown either. And he stood poised and made that play to get them in there. So I'm going to give him a lot of credit, man, because that could be the turning point, right? Even though he had the turnovers, that drive could be the turning point for being able to have those last-minute drives, because all you need is one. You need one good. You need some good ones, and that was a good one, right? You got them in position, and your team was able to capitalize on it. And I know it feels much better than them going home with that W than the L.
Did he do it with no? I think he didn't have any timeouts either.
No timeout. Yep, absolutely, no timeout.
Really?
No timeouts.
Right.
He had no timeouts, and for them to get a win going into a bye, that's big.
Yeah,
that's so big. So hopefully, you know, they can relax their mind coming off that disastrous loss against the Detroit Lions, who got their butts kicked on Thanksgiving. Because the Lions, again, I say they are who we know they are.
They're starting the Lion.
They starting the Lion. That's a good one. They starting the Lion. So for the Bears to get this win and go into the bye week, and I want to say they play. What's the next game? I'm
Detroit, isn't it? On the December 10th.
I think it is Detroit.
Yes, I think it is Detroit. Yes, it is. It's Detroit at home.
Yeah.
It's Detroit at home.
Atlanta and Green Bay.
Yep.
Brown.
Yep. It's Detroit at home. So hopefully, you know, they can build off of this, and people can talk about the draft and they draft position, and I don't care nothing about that. I just want to see wins, because winning breeds confidence, and that's all I want to see. So, you know, people can talk about the draft all they want. I just want to see wins.
Yeah, Jay, I agree with you. I want to see them call a game plan that's designed to win. I don't care about calling. You know what? Justin Fields don't have to prove nothing statistically. All he needs to do is show consistency. That's all I want from him is consistency. You don't have to call 37 passes. I mean, they threw 37. They had 20 at halftime, and literally, it was almost like last week. Last week, you actually had 3 turnovers at halftime, and you losing 14-10 at halftime. How does that happen?
Right.
And today, I think you was tired, right? You was tired at halftime, and you probably had possessed the ball twice as long as your opponent. So call plays that work. Call stuff that get your team in a winning position. Don't just – I know offensive coordinators want to pad the stat. This is not a pass-first team. It's just not.
To your point, Bernard, if you're not running the ball, your play action is taken away. So Justin Fields, that's one of his strongest attributes, where you think it's a run that opens up lanes and you have the ability to make a very good throw and open up lanes. If you just, being somebody that's that predictable, you taking away the most important elements of your offense. Those 2-yard, 3-yard screens. There was at least one option I remember. Justin Fields tried to throw a screen through a defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that? So you can tell that he was nervous, and he's like, "Hey, we got to get screens." I'm like, dude, if a defensive tackle's there, change your arm angle, do something else, pump fake him, whatever. He tried to throw the ball through him, so that kind of indicated to me he's under some kind of instructions that this is how we gonna play that game, and I don't care what happens. We're not getting out of this particular process. So.
Last time
I can address this comment about run blocking and pass blocking. See, this is one of the problems that the Bears are having right now. Since Fields came back, they are not committing to running the ball with their running backs. What you're running is zone read plays. Zone reads are difficult for linemen because the linemen can't fire off but I think a half yard or a yard. And they have to make sure, like, for example, if it's a read option, that you're going to not pull it out and pass it. And they be down the field.
Down the field. So now you got an ineligible man down the field.
Down the field.
But no, that's education. That's education. That's education.
Yeah,
that's
you can run a few of those zone reads in there, but you need to run with your backs so your linemen can start pushing them off. Because what you're doing is, you're doing this is hesitated running. They kind of hesitating blocking. Maybe you pull it out. Then all of a sudden you running out the side with your quarterback, or you throwing these 1-yard screens. Worst idea for a 7-man front. They lucky ain't nobody got to pick 6 on those because everybody is in the box. So you don't want to keep throwing those wide receivers screens constantly.
Right.
And the thing about it is, lineman to block if you don't even know who got the doggone ball.
Right.
I'm curious. If back in the day when you had the wishbone and Park District, you didn't even know who had the ball. So you're over the line, you're like, I'm just going to try to hit whoever in front of me. That's extremely difficult to do. And that's why the offensive line looks very different when Justin Fields is playing quarterback versus Tyson Bagent or anybody else. So and I'm not saying Bajan's better than Fields. That's crazy. But that they're not running the same plays in the same offense.
But it's one of those things where the offensive line actually looked a lot better last week than they did this week. And I don't know if it's because of the opponent that they faced, but at the same time, and the play calling as well. Getsy called some stuff tonight that made me just want to scratch my head because I'm like, I cannot believe this is what you're calling. You got a team that blitz, the third highest blitzing team in the NFL, and you're not running the football. Yeah. I don't understand that because the best way to neutralize the blitz is you continue to run the football.
Or run out the shotgun and run a draw.
And the stuff that he was doing tonight, I'm like, that wide receiver screen, he probably called 12 times. And of course, y'all know me. I'm gonna go back tomorrow and I'm gonna watch this entire game. And I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna chart like wide receiver screen, wide receiver screen, wide receiver screen to the left, wide receiver screen to the right. I can't understand what he was calling. And they didn't go down the field not one time. Everything was all although he moved the pocket, he did move the pocket, and he kind of had some boots and waggles in there. But at the same time, everything was still short. He didn't go down the field, and I don't understand that.
It's too vanilla.
He went down the field one time, and that was the last pass that he completed to DJ Moore.
To DJ Moore for 34 yards to get in the field goal range.
Say you got Tom Brady as your quarterback 1. You got Lamar Jackson as your quarterback 2. The offense you run with Tom Brady when he's out, you run the same offense with him, and then you wonder why it don't work. These are 2 different dudes. He's running the offense that he would run for Bagent. I'm looking at all these screens. Just like he was saying running. Why even do a play action pass? It's just not going to really work. Now, if they start throwing enough times, if they jump out that shotgun with a single man back and run a draw, or just keep running it, now you keep the defense honest. I'm looking at dudes, man, and these in the cadence. I'm seeing linebackers come ease up to the line. I'm like, why is this a pass play? What?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if Fields could take snaps under center yet. I mean, I don't know with the thumb, where it's at, or with them changes. Well, Lucas Patrick's back. When they blitz like that, you need to get under center. You need to get under center because you can't have these slow developing run plays in blitz formations, right? You have these run plays that are slow where you quarterback is sticking them in, but they got 7 men in the blocks and they're shooting gaps. You need to be up under center and driving forward. That's how you bust those long runs on the blitz, which make them get out of that, because if those first guys miss, it's Katie by the door.
It's over.
Right?
It's Katie by the door.
Yeah.
Katie by the door. I love that term. My coach used to say that all the time. Katie by the door. My coach used to say it all the time. Katie by the door. There we go.
The other problem you got too with that right now, I mean, you would want to, but you got Lucas Patrick playing NFL version of NFL Cribs. He snapped the ball. Hi, welcome. Come on in. It's like you snap a ball every time you see Lucas Patrick. By the time the ball is snapped, you look at the 62, you can see half the 62 because the dude's back is on the other side of this guy, man. But you got to run. Win, lose, or draw.
And Patrick and Lucas Patrick get beat off the simplest swim moves. It's almost like every play's a swim move. It's like, dude, you don't know how to block that. Yeah. I don't get it.
Y'all ready? Let's just get some grades for the offense. I'm gonna get an offense.
It's tough.
What I'm gonna give them tonight? I'm going to get an offense an F.
Oh,
I'm gonna give them an F because they got 0 touchdowns, and I can't give you points for efficiency at one point. You got to get touchdowns to win in the NFL. Your defense had to play lights out if you win a game without getting any touchdowns, and the defense did play lights out. That's why you won. But F for the defense for me. I mean, the offense.
That's why I love this show, because we keep it real. I ain't gonna give them an F. I'm gonna give them because they got 4 field goals, which is special teams. But I'm gonna give them. I gotta give them an F.
You give him an F,
got that curveball in your throat.
F by J.
4 turnovers. You get 4 turnovers. Actually, in good field position, and you don't score touchdowns. So I'm gonna have to give them an F. I'm gonna have to give them an F.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I'm not gonna get the offense an F. They were bad. We got to win. They came out on the first drive, and they actually controlled the line of scrimmage. They controlled the game. We started out with a 9-minute drive.
9 minutes, 14 plays. Yep.
Nothing else. We actually controlled the clock, which made it a much easier game and a shorter game. They gave up a couple sacks, but some of those sacks were, again, Justin Fields holding the ball too long, and I'm like, dude, throw it away, get another play. I'm gonna get an offense a D.
D?
They at least won the time of possession. It hurt to have Justin Fields with those 2 fumbles, and I think Roshan Johnson had a fumble as well.
Yeah,
so
he
did.
That's got to kind of get the offense as well. So offense gets a
D. Okay. Okay, got an F and a D. What you got for the offense, guy?
We can just get 2 O's and just call it food. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta, you know what? I'm gonna give them an I for incompetent. There's no way. I mean, I understand, they got 112 rushing yards, they got 200-some passing yards. I get that, but 4 field goals, you basically in a situation where we should have scored 30-something points. The play calling was plank said
atrocious.
There you go.
Abysmal.
But if I got to give a regular
Abysmal.
grade, I'm gonna give him a D- squared.
Okay.
Works for me.
At the end of the day, I just want us to score one more point than the guys we playing against. So that's the
2-1.
standard that I'm holding to.
2-1 Bears.
There you go. We got a dub.
Okay, hey, so I know we talked about the defense a little earlier, and I thought the defense played well. You know what? Javon, it's Javon Dexter, right?
Yeah.
Javon Dexter. I thought, what is it?
Jerron. I think it's Jerron Dexter.
Jerron Dexter. You won't see what he did tonight on the stat sheet, but I thought he was very disruptive in the middle of the field. He was actually not allowing the quarterback most of the game to be able to step up. He definitely affected the running game a whole lot. So I'm gonna really give kudos to him, because a lot of times when you get defensive linemen playing like that, you don't see it in the stat sheet, but you got to see what they're doing. And I thought TJ Edwards played good. I thought Jalen played well. I thought the rookie who was in played well. I even thought Tremaine Edmonds showed up well in the game. Man, and matter of fact, Sweat got another sack today. I think he got a sack and a half.
Yeah, he did. Sack and a half.
He got a sack and a half. Man, defense, I'm gonna have to give it to him. When you only gave up one touchdown, I give you an A.
Defense.
Well, with defense, go ahead, guy. Well, Javon Dexter, that dude was out there. He was balling. You know, I want to see him get much more plays, much more time, because every time he's out there, I see that young man. He's disruptive. They ended up calling a penalty on him where it took away a sack from him, and I'm like, dude, that's what normal football players do. So, you know, we're gonna leave that as it is. I got to get a defense an A. As a matter of fact, I'm giving the defense an A+. You held the other team to 10 points. You got 4+ turnovers. They never got to establish a running game. They got one touchdown. So what? One touchdown, one field goal. I'll take that all day. If we give up 10 points a game, we're going to win 90% of those games. So defense, I'm giving them an A. May as well give them an A+. That's
A+.
Hey,
you got a little left-handed in you, brother. That A&R is wrong. He's guard. God.
Oh, still did it.
You know what? I'm going to co-sign with him, man. I got to give him an A+, man. You know what? They give up 2 yards rushing, 4 picks. Kyler Gordon, win, lose, or draw, man. That dude just played to the wall. Every play that he had it. One thing I could give him credit for, whoever his assignment was, almost every time you saw him, he was with his dude. And he did his thing, man. I mean, these guys, man, you got to give them the credit that they deserve, man, because the defense, we don't win this game if it's not for the defense. You can give them a grade you want to, I got to give them an A+ just for that one touchdown against a team that's got, 2 more wins, you in their crib. A+. That's all I got, man.
A+. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna give him
Man,
an A.
Yannick and Godway are stealing money too. I'm
stealing
sorry.
money. Stealing money. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give him an A. I'm not gonna give him an A+. I'm gonna give him an A. A+ is exceptional to me, and I'm not gonna say didn't play exceptional, but they played very, very well. Jalen Johnson is really trying to make he's really trying to make his pitch like, hey, I need to get paid. Montez Sweat, he showed up today. The rookies played well. Our linebackers flowed to the ball really well today. You know, Minnesota could not get any type of running game going, and that's attributed to this defense. So I'm gonna definitely give them an A, and they played really well tonight.
And even more so too, to kind of piggyback on that somewhat, they gave up 72 yards. And if you think about how devastating they were, the Vikings had one play that they ran a ball for 21 yards. So you're talking about another 51 yards for 16 other carries.
Okay. Hey, if you're watching out on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We need, was it four more subscribers to get to 700 subscriptions? Hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Facebook, hey, flip over to YouTube. All
Tell
right.
your mama, your daddy, your grease granny. I hope not. No. but 4 more. Let's go.
Hey, you know what? Special teams. You know what? Special teams. I'm kind of a little mixed on this because they came through with the 4 field goals, but they missed a field goal that could have been a difference in the game, and they kind of gave up
a big run.
A big run, almost at the end of the game.
They gave up a big run. I was like, no. Yeah.
But I'm gonna give special teams. I'm gonna give them a B. I'm gonna give them a B because Santos still came through when it was clutch.
Okay, well, I can see. No, go ahead, Jay.
I'm gonna get a special teams A just because Santos scored all the goddamn points. Excuse my French, but Santos scored all the goddamn points. So I'm gonna have to get him an A. I'm gonna have to get him an A.
Excusez-moi, ce n'est pas français, mais les gars, c'est français. Excuse your friend. I'm gonna give him a B just because Gessie called all the screens. It's just to take all the luster off of any other part of the football team and just let Gessie have his thing.
What Gessie got to do with the special teams calling all those screens?
He was so bad with all the screens he threw. Unless they lost or they was bad, you got to give him a B by default. Just saying.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm giving special teams a B plus. Santos was 4 out of 5, so that's good field goal kicking. And he actually was able to bring home the game winner, which is huge. However, playing we did decent punt defense. That last kick, it looked like they was about to return it and break my heart. So I can't take that. You don't put me through that. Don't put my heart through those kind of paces. So special teams get a B plus. They scored all the points we got today, so
we
needed every one of them too.
You know what, Jay? I was surprised that they brought that ball out. Did that make sense? To me, I thought it didn't make sense based off the amount of time he returned it to the 35, but I don't know. I would have probably just I don't know. I thought it was risky.
I mean, when you down, you try to score points, and it's one of them things where a lot of times you can catch people sleeping. Like when Vegas Jones brought out that first one, I was like, you know what? He might just try to break. I actually thought Vegas Jones was gonna make a play tonight. I really, as much as I don't like Vegas Jones, I actually thought Vegas Jones was gonna make a play tonight. Then he showed up on offense on one play, and he was 1-on-1 at the top of the screen, and y'all can go back and look at it. And the Bears wind up having a penalty.
And so they snatched it right out of there.
They snatched it right out of there. I'm like, Vegas Jones in here. I'm like, he gonna make a play, and then it didn't happen because it was a penalty. But I mean, on special teams right now, when you have these kickoffs and you have these players that actually bring them back, there's always a potential for a good run back because a lot of teams don't run the football back. And when you have teams get lackadaisical, as my coach used to say, lackadaisical. You get lackadaisical, you got somebody that's going to run the ball out and you really not thinking that they're going to do it, it tends to wind up becoming a big play.
That is I said because it was about 25 seconds left, I think. That's why I asked that. I was wondering the risk of it.
He's at home too. One at home.
Them running the ball back. First of all, their offense was stagnant. They didn't have anything going. They knew they had a journeyman quarterback who didn't even know the names of most of the guys he was playing with last week. So it's a one-score game. Taking that chance and breaking somebody's back on a kickoff return, that scared the heck out of me because, to Jay's point, people are not used to covering those anymore. So with that 25 seconds left, that probably gave them a better chance of scoring than actually running that offense that they had been running for the last 59 minutes or whatever. It wasn't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm. He had a shell shock too. He didn't went from heaven to hell in one season. He was in Arizona. He ended up in Minnesota. Weather-wise,
yeah.
I mean, he talking to dude, and the dude make a mistake. Like, Keith, I told you not to do it, man. My name's Steve. It ain't Keith. But it's you're right. But then I thought for myself, and this, I'm just looking from a psychological standpoint. One, we at the crib, so I'm comfortable. Number two, dude, and I already threw 4 picks. At least me getting a little closer. Maybe give him a little better chance to throw shorter passes, but don't matter what type of psychology is. Only psychology I understand is that W.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good run back. Yeah, it was a good run back because he actually got to the 35.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah. Bernard, can you bring that last comment up? It was a comment that a user said. Did Brian Flores something about he didn't blitz?
Flores handed us the game by not blitzing on the last drive.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't, because the bottom line is, if you look at the analytics and the stats, Justin Fields normally beats the blitz. He normally beats the blitz, whether he beats it with a pass or beats it with a run. And he did a lot of that tonight. He actually beat the blitz a lot of times with his legs or with a pass. So, no, Brian Flores didn't hand us the game. The bottom line is the Vikings with Joshua Dobbs is not a good team. And the bottom line is the Bears actually does have talent. And we were able to beat a bad team, which to me is just as bad as us with a Joshua Dobbs ran team. They're just as bad as us.
I think the strategy.
It's so much mediocrity. It's so much mediocrity in the NFC. All these teams, and we're gonna see it with Detroit. Detroit, they riding high right now. They're 8-3. They're gonna probably finish 9-8 or 8-9.
Yeah, and I think the strategy that he was employing those last 3 drives were, I would say, 3 drives. He was actually trying to give Fields more time to pass whenever they was passing, because I think they was trying to lure him into a mistake. Mm-hmm. And even on, because you remember, there was a few drives right near the end where he literally was like kind of like dancing one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they were actually not pressuring him. They was kind of like giving him like, hey, throw the ball. But but it worked in the Bears' favor, because what you actually was doing was you was daring him to throw the ball deep, because you like, I'm gonna give you the short stuff right now, and I'm gonna go back 10 yards, and Phil threw a hell of a ball right in the middle to DJ Moore. What you got playing?
Yeah, he did.
Bernard, I got a question for you. I got a question for all my boys. Who decided on the last play within 5 seconds left not to have anybody rush the quarterback? Is that even possible? Receivers could have ran around for the next 7 hours and nobody rushed the quarterback.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that for you?
Please, Jay, please.
When you're not used to winning and you're so scared that anything can go wrong, that's what you get. Because again, as Detroit, not Detroit, but as Minnesota fumbled around and started throwing passes and handing it off, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is high school. We don't do this in it. Do they really do this in the NFL? Do they really do this in the NFL? And I'm like, I'm witnessing them laddering the football to linemen and the quarterback. Now he got it, and he can't throw it because now he passed the line of scrimmage. So I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching this. But Yeah.
You know what it looked like? It looked like the end of the Benny Hill show, didn't it? It's like you got two. You know what? You got anytime. Understand? Yeah. There's no such thing as rocket science here. When you got two dummies in a spelling bee, the smartest dummy gonna win. If you ask a guy, old McDonald had a farm, and how do you spell it? The one that spell it E-I-E-I-O is the one that loses. That's just basically it. That's it. I mean, you know, we looking at it and it's like from our side, we like, yeah, keep doing it. But I know everybody else in America was like, man.
Yeah, you know what? I on something like that, I will always still rush 3 people at a minimum.
You got to
coverage because you got too many people back there. You literally had 10 men in coverage, which to me can lend itself more to a mistake because everybody feel that somebody is covering somebody, and all it takes is somebody, right, to fall down or to run into each other or whatever, because you're not used to that many guys being back there.
Look at the Jets. Look at the Jets, what they just did.
He got 5 linemen in front of him. They're not gonna run that fast, but anybody that comes up, they can steamroll them, man. That scared the heck out of me.
We have 8 penalties in 3 quarters. You playing like the news.
How do you have a Hail Mary? How do you have a Hail Mary return for a touchdown? Those are the type of things that rushing one player at the quarterback can do. It's something so simple. They try to overthink everything, and you don't have to do that. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just play the game. Play the game.
Mm-hmm. That's why with your mediocre team, you start playing out the lose as opposed to just going through your normal progressions, you know. And they had, and like I said, they looked up and they had 8 penalties in like 3 quarters or whatever. There's probably about somebody calling a phantom call, but still, you still got to go with your bread and butter and do your thing.
And they almost did it tonight. They almost did it tonight. They got into that mode where we gonna play not to lose. And even I text her, I'm like, okay, so now we're gonna play for the field goal. Now we finna play for the at the end. Now we gonna play for the field goal. No, what you do is you stay aggressive. Hit the subscription button, y'all. You stay aggressive, and then if you wind up having to kick the field goal, then you kick the field goal. But don't have Justin go up to the line and now he finna kneel. No, you're 3-8. You're 3-8.
Jay, we were in field goal position. We were in field goal range to play before that, and we fumbled. So I didn't argue with going for the field goal altogether. I was fine with that. I figured we were already within Santos' field goal range. Let's run the clock out. If he missed it, I wouldn't even be mad at him for missing it.
I'm not saying put the ball in harm's way. I'm not saying drop back and pass it. But still, get into a formation, run the ball, and you know Herbert might be able to break one. Rashawn Johnson might be able to break one. You know, but just don't settle. You're 3-8. Now you're going up, and with time on the clock, you're kneeling down just to stay in field goal range. That's too passive for me, man. That's too passive. Jay,
the coach in me came out. I sent y'all a message and said they need to kneel down. I said they need to kneel down because they just had too many bad things at this point, right? Because
today showed us where we missed Deontay Foreman.
Yeah,
because that big proven running back, he gonna run somebody over. He gonna make you make some business decisions before you decide to tackle him. So
he's up there singing that Bears theme song. Kneel down, Chicago Bears. Don't mess it up. We want a victory. It's like, I was like,
I love it.
Hey, you know what? I was laughing yesterday. It was the second team that I ever seen get a false start. I think it was yesterday or was it over Thanksgiving? Somebody else got a false start on the kneel down.
I know.
That
was crazy.
You know what? But you know what? I think other than the last drive, I don't think the Bears had a red zone trip today, did they? I don't think they
did. They went in the red zone the first
drive, yeah.
The first possession, they was in the red zone,
possession.
and he wound up missing the field goal.
Yeah,
in the red zone.
So that's a problem right there too. Offensively, I mean, you only got in the red zone one time, you know, in the game with 4 turnovers, right? I mean, you because your field goals were long. I think all your field goals were like 40, 45, stuff like that. Maybe 30.
And I think you had 150. I think you had 155 yarder today too.
Yeah,
and a couple of those turnovers started off in their territory anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we ended up getting negative yards, but that's what happens when you got a bad team.
And I know it's going to change after this week, but the Bears were, and which was surprisingly, I didn't know, they were 6th in the NFL in red zone efficiency as far as touchdowns go. Which
really we got that 3 times this year.
And the thing about it is when you don't get in the red zone, a lot, but when you get in the red zone, you actually score. Right. That's why I say stats are, it's so jaded. It's so jaded. But they were 6th in red zone scoring before this game today.
Yeah, Jay. It's because a lot of times when they do them stats like that, they really should do narratives around those stats,
right?
Because how many opportunities did you get in the red zone?
It's misleading.
It's just like watching. It's like looking at the stats for a boxing match that you didn't watch, and you'll see, say you see a guy who he threw more punches, and you're like, man, he won. He should have won if you didn't watch. But maybe he didn't throw punches into the last 3 rounds, right?
Right.
But it's a 12-round fight, so he just built up these garbage numbers, trying in desperation to try to squeak out a fight. But to me, that's the same thing with that. When you only get into the red zone maybe 2 times or 3 times a game, well,
But analytics, the statistics are very misleading. It's just like, say me and Plank try to talk to the same girl. I go up to her, she look at me like, you goofy, get out of here. She give Plank all the play. No, but this is just hypothetical. It's hypothetical, of course. And Plank gets the girl, gets her number. They go out on a date. He buy dinner and all that stuff. She go home and just says bye and leaves. The moral of the story is I got turned down, but it didn't cost me nothing. So it's misleading. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, stats, like you're saying, there should be certain addendums and stats that kind of sort of give a little more context to them. Because like you said, if you got a 60% red zone efficiency, but you've only been in the red zone 5 times a year, but this other team been there 30 and they did it 10 times. Now you got them going there more and scored 30% of the time, and you 60, and you think you're more effective. No, you're not, because they scored.
I'm taking out the Cheesecake Factory anyway. It don't matter.
Dude, I'm going to Groupon. Give me a Groupon.
So, hey, hello, we got a comment by Tyler. In the red zone 2 times on the 20 and the 22nd. Okay.
Line twice.
Okay. Yeah. So technically, the red zone
0 points
at the 20.
0 points.
Yeah.
Man, if Talib put on some glasses, I think he me. I'm looking at his face. I'm like, we starting to look. Too many people starting to look alike, man. That's scary.
That man is handsome.
Because again, I still said today. Every time they got an interception or a turnover, I'm like, it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
if they don't score no points, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm so convinced. Call me a Justin Fields supporter if you want to, but it's not even about Justin Fields. This offensive coordinator sucks, and that's the only way I can put this. This offensive coordinator sucks. Mark? Yeah.
No, he was an ultimate narcissist. You knew he was a jerk. He was gonna let him burn himself. So, but at least he got points.
Luke Getsy has no clue about what he's doing, because I don't understand his. Y'all know me. You got to marry plays. And the plays that you calling, you can't even marry them to something that you're not calling.
That ain't married. Those are nobles. That's what those are. Nobles.
like the play that he called for DJ Moore at the end of the game.
Yeah.
What was that in the beginning of the game? I was saying all the time, I'm like, why are they not going down the field? Why they not going down the field? I'm not saying take deep shots every time, but Justin gets the snap. These screens, I don't get it. I don't get it, and I'm convinced. I'm so convinced that Luke Gessie does not know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
He is stupid, but he knows that he is stupid, so that almost makes him smart.
Yeah, you know what? That show how fans could be so premature at times. Last year, at some point, people was like, man, I'm worried about let's just make Gessie the head coach because you was hearing stuff like that. You was hearing stuff like that through the cause.
Gessie gonna be a head coach. He gonna lead. He gonna be a head coach.
No, he's the president.
Hey, Carolina got an opening. Why not?
That's what they said.
you know, so.
And they tried to get Mooney killed. They ain't try to get him to no bank. That was a terrible pass to that young man.
That was a decapitation.
You know what? Let's throw Justin under the bus.
Hey, before that.
Throw Justin under the bus for that pass, cause man, Mooney was wide open on that one. And I'll take you. I'm like, okay, JF1 missed that one. He missed that one because he was wide open. He did miss that one. But I feel sorry. I feel so sorry for Mooney, man, because I like Darnell. Y'all know I like Darnell. Y'all know I'm a Mooney fan. I like Darnell Mooney, but I just think he's gonna wind up making his career somewhere else. Because at this point, if they haven't tried to extend him, I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah. But I hope I'm wrong. But yeah.
You remember Mooney's first year? I thought they was trying their best to get Mooney the ball. And it was times where I was cringing because some of those end arounds, Mooney was running so hard on him, right? But I don't know why. But he was effective. He was effective on those end arounds. It was just like, to me, he was just taking some hard hits. But I don't know why he's not getting some of those end arounds sometime, stuff to kind of get him going. Not the screens. I'm saying some end around because they try to throw him the screens. Those screens do not work to Mooney. I don't know if he telegraphed him or what happens, but every time they throw that screen at him, he is always a negative play, or it end up. Well, I can't even say negative play because he probably only had one catch tonight.
He only had one catch tonight. Yeah, and I think he had 2 targets for one catch.
No, he had
Mooney.
3 targets.
Two targets, 6 yards.
2 catches, 3 targets. Okay.
And
y'all also got to remember too. Darnell Mooney was a 1,000-yard receiver.
Sure was.
Year before last. So, all right. I don't understand. But again, it's coaching. It's this offensive coordinator. It's the scheme. I don't understand. Even when I watch them run the routes, I don't understand the route tree that they're doing. You wind up having 2 receivers in the same spot. And you got one guy.
About one DB. That's a wonderful defense. I love it.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Your 2-man coverage is just this and this. Well, you know what? Here's another thing. We all call it when we see it. Because first of all, Justin Fields is holding the ball too long. Number 2, you can absolutely not fumble. But how can I explain this? Y'all ever see this movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High? The guy, Sean Penn's character, Spicoli. You want to know what made Spicoli great? Because you could cuss him out. You could go off on him. He was just so nonplussed, like, duh, okay. So he was a flatliner. He never got too high, never got too low. But the dude could surf his butt off. There was nothing you could do about that. Certain people that are told that they're great, I'm not saying necessarily it's the point, but it just seems like it. You try to teach somebody something and you throw it at them, and instead of them being able to say, you know what, I'm going to have to do what I need to do. Sometimes they want to prove that they can do it. Sometimes it's in their head or changing something. and it screws everything else up. Because there's no way in the world you could convince me that he can't see the guys. It's like he's too scared to even throw the ball. He's like this, and then like the one play where he snaps back, I'm like, okay, this is the play where you see him closing in that you go out. He stepped right back up in the pocket. It was like rock soccer robots. I'm like, you either go get it or get killed. But they need to coach him. What they need to do is they need to run plays that accentuate things that he does and have him do stuff, because he's gonna get killed, or like you say, go get your boy Mooney killed.
They need to get a job with somebody who know how to do it.
Right.
That's what they need.
And of course, I just got something that came across my phone that said Kevin O'Connell said team will look at everything after bye week, including change their quarterback. Ain't no love in this game, man. Not for long. Not for long in the NFL. It says Kevin O'Connell says team will look at everything after the bye week, including a change in quarterback. Ain't no love lost in this league. That's why I love it. It's either you good or you ain't.
Yeah,
he
was bound to have this bad meltdown game. I didn't know it was gonna happen on us, but he was bound to have it, right? Because really, they've been kind of pulling off a couple of games, kind of like, how is he doing this, right? Even with some of the fumbles, right? Because I was criticizing him for the fumbles and stuff, but he came down to reality tonight, right? That he's a backup quarterback.
He's Tyson Bates. Yeah. He's Tyson Bates. He's a backup quarterback, and people want to have these things where they just looking at it like, oh my God, he's second coming. No, he's not. No, he's not. It's 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that start, and I still say you got 5 good ones, you got 5 bad ones, and you got 15 in between. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. Everybody talk about Josh Allen in Buffalo. Is Josh Allen really a franchise quarterback?
Nope.
Yeah, Church is chicken. Church is chicken franchise.
I'm telling you, it don't take long in the NFL for you to realize you got to be special to be a quarterback in the NFL. That's why Tom Brady was who he was. That's why Brett Favre who he was. That's why Aaron Rodgers is who he is. You got to be special to be in the NFL. You can't be mediocre and still be the man. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
You have to sit too.
It doesn't happen. You got 5 good
nowadays, right? Unless you're a lights out quarterback, you should be sitting for a year or two at least to watch it, so you can even look at not just the depth perception of certain passes, understand the nuances. Because, like I was saying, on some plays where he sit up here like, I could do it. I don't know. If he was sitting on the sideline with a clipboard, he's close to the play, he could probably realize, you know what, I could throw that pass 9 times and hit it 9 times. But he's too scared to pull the trigger, but he's on the bench. So, I mean, maybe he needed to be on the bench.
But see, guys, this is
a cold game.
So we're going to wrap it up in a few
minutes. Okay, but I'm going to say real quick, which is a whole nother show. But I'm going to tell you, guys, you're exactly right. Because you got guys like Frank Wright just got fired.
Yeah,
you know, they drafted Bryce Young. These teams are putting these players in positions to lose, and that's the bottom line. You cannot draft these players. Well, we drafted him number 1, so he's going to be our starting quarterback. Look at Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. These kids are not ready to be NFL starting quarterbacks. And that's what the league is doing. So, you know,
I agree with you, Jay. So I know a lot of times because the Bears had a carousel of quarterbacks, but the Bears are not the only one doing this. I mean, look at the Jets. Jets doing the same thing. I mean, you on your 3rd quarterback now in 6 years?
Yeah.
You draft Sam Darnold in 2018? I think you got them in 2018.
Yep.
2021, you drafting another quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you to bench that quarterback, sign a veteran, and you probably gonna be looking in the draft again because Aaron Rodgers is an old guy. I mean, he just want to get his one season. He's done. So it's a plenty of teams that do the same thing. These guys are set up to fail.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what? And they want to be number one. They just don't realize falling to the second round probably is the best thing that can happen to you.
Yep. It is the best thing.
Or maybe even the third or fourth.
Yeah, because you know you gonna sit.
Because again, I'm going off script, and this will be a whole conversation. I would like to bring Mo Man and Christian Jones in on this conversation. How many drafted number one first round quarterbacks are starting in the NFL right now?
One.
Not many.
None. No,
It's
one or none,
many.
right?
It's not many.
It's
not
not
many.
easy. That's a hard. I mean, I think that what happens is because it's a
Not
business,
many.
they cut you in 2-3 years. Oh, you gone. Most of these kids that they throw out there like that, you so used to from the time you went from Pee Wee League to the end of college, you maybe lost 4 total games. Now you go in 6 weeks and you'd have lost 5 or 6 games. And come on, because you getting sacked, getting intercepted. Some folks like in Spicoli, it'd be like, hey, it is what it is, and be great. But most of these guys out there, shell shock. He gonna be man. Justin gonna be at Kroger's, man. He'll be back in the Mr. Biscuit in a minute, man.
Hey, I like that. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, look at Trey Lance.
Oh,
Look
go
at
ahead,
Trey
man.
Lance. No, I'm just saying, look at Trey Lance. The 49ers gave up a haul to go up to number 3 to get him. What Trey Lance said? He the
They gave
third
him up
string
for
quarterback.
a used blender.
Trey Lance getting paid $11 million a year to do this.
The hold the clipboard. The hold the clipboard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like he interested each time.
Yeah.
Well, he waived his workman's comp because he ain't gonna need it.
Yeah. But okay. I'm
All
good.
right. Hey,
I
I'd like to
digress.
thank everybody who tuned in tonight to Bears Banner and share this podcast with other Bears fans tomorrow. All right. Bears win 12-10. Peace.
12-10. Peace. 12-10.